What's up, Celtics fans? The energy is high, and the stakes are even higher. After that heartbreaking overtime loss in Game 1 to the New York Knicks, a 108-105 thriller that kept everyone on the edge of their seats, the Boston Celtics are locked in and ready to strike back. And right as the tension started to build, some encouraging news came through that could change the outlook for Game 2. Kristaps Porzingis might be back in action. That's right, the big man from Latvia, who had to exit Game 1 early due to illness, has now been upgraded to probable for the upcoming clash. It's the kind of update that gives a jolt of optimism to a fan base that knows just how crucial Porzingis can be when he's at full strength. In Game 1, he gave a shot, stepped on the court, and tried to contribute, but it was obvious he wasn't himself. 14 minutes, 0 points, and just 4 rebounds. It was a shadow of the player we've seen dominate this season. And that's been the unfortunate storyline with Porzingis this year. It's been a season of starts and stops for him. He's battled through a mix of injuries and illness. And just when it looks like he's turning the corner, something seems to slow him down. Head coach Joe Mazzulla shed some light on the situation, explaining that Porzingis has been pushing through something lingering since he returned from missing 11 games earlier this year. According to Mazzulla, it wasn't just a sudden setback. It's something Porzingis has been dealing with, trying to manage quietly behind the scenes, and it simply overwhelmed him during Game 1. Let's be real. When Kristaps is healthy, he's a weapon. He stretches the floor like few other bigs in the league, pulling defenders out to the perimeter with his range while still being a force in the post. The Celtics desperately missed that dynamic in Game 1, especially in a matchup where every possession felt like a heavyweight exchange. Without him firing on all cylinders, Boston's offense just didn't have that same rhythm, that same balance. They hit a wall at the worst possible time, and the Knicks took advantage of it. But Porzingis isn't the only name on the injury radar. Sam Hauser, who's been one of those underrated glue guys for the Celtics this season, is now listed as doubtful due to a right ankle sprain. That's another potential hit to the rotation, especially with how much Boston values Hauser's perimeter shooting and defensive effort off the bench. Losing him, even temporarily, means more minutes for guys who will have to step up in roles they might not be fully prepared for, especially in a playoff setting where the margin for error shrinks to nothing. And look, we know how this team operates. They thrive when they're fully engaged, fully healthy, and clicking as a unit. That cohesion was off in Game 1. You could see it in the body language, in the way possessions broke down late in the fourth quarter and into overtime. Tatum tried to take over, Brown had flashes, but without Porzingis to space the floor and draw attention, the Knicks were able to lock in defensively and dare Boston to beat them in isolation. It didn't work out, and now the pressure's on. The truth is, this series could shift dramatically based on Porzingis' availability. If he's truly ready to go, even at 80 or 90%, that changes how New York defends, it changes the Celtics' offensive options, and it gives the team a psychological boost they badly need after a game that slipped through their fingers. The Celtics have the talent, the depth, and the experience to respond. But in a series this tight, every piece matters. And Porzingis? He's not just a piece, he's a game changer. So the question heading into Game 2 isn't just about excess and OS. It's about health, about resilience, about whether this team can pull together and play like the juggernaut they've shown themselves to be all season long. The Garden will be rocking, the fans will be loud, and the Celtics know what's on the line. All eyes now turn to Kristaps Porzingis. Will he be ready to rise? And while all the focus might be on Porzingis right now, the truth is the Celtics as a whole need to respond, not just physically, but mentally. Game 1 wasn't just a loss, it was a warning. A reminder that no lead is safe, that no possession can be taken for granted, and that playoff basketball is a different beast entirely. Boston had control of that game at several points, and yet it slipped away. That's the kind of thing that can haunt a locker room, or it can fuel a turnaround. We're about to find out which direction this Celtics team is built to go. Let's not forget, this is a team that came into the playoffs with one of the best records in the league, with championship expectations hanging over them like a banner already halfway raised. Every piece of the puzzle was falling into place. Tatum was playing an MVP level. Brown had found his rhythm again. Derek White was hitting big shots, and the addition of Porzingis was seen as the final step toward making this group unstoppable. So when Game 1 ends with the Celtics on the losing end, it hits harder than just a single game. It shakes the confidence, it tests the chemistry, and it puts the coaching staff under the microscope. Joe Mazzulla now has to make some serious adjustments, and not just in terms of who plays or what plays are called. This is about setting a tone. This is about reminding his players what got them here and what kind of intensity it takes to finish the job. The Knicks showed up with grit, with hustle, and with a clear game plan. They took advantage of every Celtics mistake, punished every lapse in focus, and never backed down. That's the kind of energy Boston needs to bring in Game 2, not just to win the game, but to reestablish dominance in the series. And it starts with the stars. Jason Tatum needs to play like the best player on the floor, not just in stretches, but from start to finish. His scoring, his leadership, his decision-making, they all need to be dialed in. Jaylen Brown, too. He's the emotional spark for this team, and when he's aggressive, when he attacks the rim and plays with that edge, it lifts everyone around him. These two aren't just teammates, they're the engine of the Celtics machine. And when both are firing, few teams can keep up. But the supporting cast also plays a massive role, especially in the playoffs. Guys like Al Horford, who brings that veteran calm and defensive IQ. Derek White, who's quietly become one of the most dependable two-way players in the conference. Peyton Pritchard, always ready to step in and hit a big shot or push the pace. Everyone has to be locked in because the Knicks aren't going away. If anything, they're gaining confidence. They stole home court advantage, and now they smell blood in the water. And let's give credit where it's due. New York came into that first game ready to fight. Jalen Brunson showed why he's become one of the most reliable clutch performers in the league. Julius Randle may have struggled at times, but his presence opened up lanes and created space for others to shine. Josh Hart, Quentin Grimes, these guys made hustle plays that shifted momentum. They play like a team that knows no one expects them to win, and they're using that underdog energy to their advantage. That's dangerous. So for Boston, the challenge is clear. Bring the fight. Bring the urgency. Bring the execution that made them a top team all season long. That means cleaner possessions, better ball movement, and sharper rotations on defense. That means protecting the paint, limiting second-chance points, and making sure the Knicks feel every possession. Because if Game 2 turns into another grinded-out war, Boston has to be the team that finishes stronger. And again, this all ties back to Kristaps Porzingis. If he's able to suit up and contribute, even if he's not at 100%, his presence alone shifts the balance. He forces defenses to stretch. He opens up driving lanes for Tatum and Brown. He gives the Celtics a high-post option that can pass, shoot, and create mismatches all over the court. That's why fans are so anxious to see him out there. That's why his status is being watched like a hawk. He doesn't just fill a role, he elevates the entire system. Of course, it's not just about this one game. This is a best-of-7 series, and every game tells a different story. But momentum is everything. Lose the first two at home, and you're climbing out a deep hole. Win Game 2, and suddenly you're back on track, heading into Madison Square Garden with confidence instead of desperation. That's what's on the line. That's why this game matters so much. It's not just a bounce-back opportunity, it's a statement. And for fans, this is the kind of moment that defines a season. You want to see your team respond. You want to see them fight back when their backs are against the wall. You want to see heart, hustle, and hunger. That's what makes the playoffs magical. Every play, every substitution, every timeout carries weight. And for the Celtics, Game 2 isn't just about evening the series. It's about showing they're built for this. That they can take a punch and come back swinging. So as the clock ticks closer to tip-off, all eyes are on the green and white. Will Porzingis play? Will Tatum and Brown rise to the occasion? Will the Celtics reclaim control of a series they were expected to dominate? These are the questions hanging in the air, and soon we'll have our answers. One thing's for sure. If Boston wants to keep their championship dreams alive, the time to act is now. No more excuses, no more missed opportunities. Just 48 minutes of locked-in, high-level basketball. Let's see what they're made of. But before we continue, please remember to subscribe to the channel and give the video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest news about the Boston Celtics. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments as well. In a stunning move that has sent shockwaves through the NBA, the Boston Celtics have announced the signing of superstar forward Kawhi Leonard. The news, confirmed earlier today by team officials, marks one of the most surprising acquisitions in recent league history and instantly repositions the Celtics as strong contenders for the NBA title. Kawhi Leonard, a two-time NBA champion and two-time Finals MVP, brings a wealth of experience, elite defensive prowess, and clutch scoring ability to a team that already boasts a strong core led by Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. The Celtics, known for their disciplined play and deep-rooted franchise legacy, have made a clear statement of intent with this signing. They're going all in for banner number 18. Leonard's career has been defined by his calm demeanor, relentless work ethic, and ability to rise to the occasion when it matters most. From his breakout years with the San Antonio Spurs to his historic title run with the Toronto Raptors in 2019, Leonard has proven time and again that he can be the cornerstone of a championship team. Now, Boston hopes he will be the missing piece in their quest for glory. The details of the deal have not yet been fully disclosed, but sources indicate it is a multi-year contract that demonstrates the Celtics' commitment to winning now. Fans have already taken to social media to express a mix of astonishment and excitement, with many dubbing this move a game-changer for the Eastern Conference landscape. This acquisition also raises intriguing questions about how head coach Joe Mazzulla will adjust his rotation and offensive schemes to integrate another high-usage, two-way star. With Leonard's arrival, Boston's defense becomes even more formidable, and the offensive versatility of the team reaches new heights. As the NBA offseason continues, one thing is clear. The Celtics have made the biggest splash yet. By landing Kawhi Leonard, they haven't just improved their roster. They've changed the balance of power across the league. All eyes now turn to Boston, where championship dreams just got a lot more real. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Boston Celtics, please subscribe to our channel and give the video a like. We always appreciate your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.